This DJ takes requests
and then throws them in the fucking trash can.
What's up? This is Matt from Bullet for My Valentine.
Hey, what's up? This is David from the band Disturbed.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Peter from Flames.
Let me hear from Motorhead. You know that some people get all the look.
Hi, this is Vernon Reed from Living Color.
Hey everybody, I'm David Ellison from Megadeth and with Vic Rattlehead from the Wake Up Dead video, who ironically appeared here for the 25th anniversary of the Peace Cells album. He was the one being passed around over the heads of everybody while we were in the cage playing.
Hello, boys and girls. My name is Mike Patton.
You are now about to witness
your DJ for this evening.
Hello.
Hit me.
This is a test.
It's serious.
It's a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Ladies and gentlemen.
Let the rhythm take you.
Yeah. The rhythm.
The music.
The music.
Music. Oh, I love the stuff.
Now, here comes the music.
Are you ready?
Okay, boys, here we go.
This is Planet Chaos.
All right, we're back. So a few months ago, in fact, it was our second episode. We talked about the Illuminati and the music industry, and we barely even scratched the surface on that. There's so much more. There's so much further in depth with the way the Illuminati runs our country in general.
Yeah.
And today we were gonna focus on the whole Paul McCartney is dead thing as far as conspiracies go. But I want to go even further and talk about other important conspiracies in United States history.
All right. Though I will admit, I did not read or finish reading the two books you gave me from Paul McCartney. I will admit to that. I'll admit I didn't do my research. I'll admit.
Do you ever do your research for the show?
Listen here. I don't fucking hear it. All right.
How was your week, Alyssa?
My week was good. It was spent working and spending time with the boy and going to the fair. And all I have to say about the fair is that I am allowed one day out of the whole entire year to be white trash, and that's my time. So.
You went to the fair, the Mahoning County Fair.
It's the Canfield Fair.
It's the Mahoning County Fair.
It's the Canfield Fair.
It's called the Canfield Fair, but it is the Mahoning County Fair.
But I don't want to admit to it. I don't either.
Because Mahoning County thinks that they're too good to have a county fair. They're not white trash enough, because they've got Poland and Canfield, Boardman.
Look, I'm from Youngstown. I don't have livestock. Yeah, I don't either. I don't have livestock either. It's Canfield Fair. I don't want to fucking hear it, alright?
The Canfield Fair does have livestock, though.
Well, yeah, because you have people all over bringing their livestock.
There are hick parts of Mahoning County, though.
Well, yeah.
Lake Milton.
But I'm not from them. Yeah,
Berlin Center.
Yeah, part.
Canfield, parts of Poland.
Yeah, parts of Poland.
There are hick parts everywhere.
New Middletown. How do you say that is hick? I had somebody.
Is Lisbon part of Mahoning County, or is that Columbiana County?
That's Columbiana.
Okay, well, that's real hick down there.
Yeah.
They won't admit it, though.
No, they won't.
I had a friend from New Jersey who said that people from Youngstown are country as hell.
We were too country for him. Whatever. I'm no country on that.
Apparently, he didn't see any of our gats.
He apparently didn't go on my old neighborhood.
There's a reason why they refer to it as Yompton.
Oh man, or how it's, what was it, at one point the murder capital of the world, too.
Yep.
Not like
Alright, so, conspiracies.
Oh shit, okay.
What are some good conspiracies?
Jimmy Hoffa. That's one.
Yeah, Jimmy Hoffa.
Where he's buried.
Where the hell is Jimmy Hoffa?
That's what I want to know. Supposedly buried in, what, is it Wrigley's Field?
Wrigley Field, yeah. Chicago, yeah.
Supposedly.
They didn't they find a body when they were tearing down Yankee Stadium?
Did they?
Yeah, I believe they did.
Maybe it's Jimmy Hoffa. Maybe it's him. Dental records and the receipts were so gone. Just saying.
Then, of course, there's 9/11.
There is that.
Kennedy.
Well.
Oh, are you not buying into the Kennedy conspiracies?
Well, wait. What exactly? About the? Oh, wait. About how the mob has something to do with it? Is that it?
The mob, the CIA, whoever.
Oh, FBI. Well, listen. The FBI has shit on everybody. Courtesy of a J. Edgar movie. Seriously.
Did you know that at one point George H.W. Bush was questioned as a co-conspirator in the Kennedy assassination?
No.
Yeah.
No.
There is so much about the Bush family that is starting to come out now, and
yeah, I think I saw something about
we've voted for these fools.
Yeah, that's true.
We've voted for these fools.
I did. I was too young to vote for them. No. Yeah, shit happens.
What are you doing, Alyssa? Why are you on your phone when you're supposed to be talking?
I can multitask.
You're not proving it.
You know what? I can prove it right now. So, oh wait, the whole Marilyn Monroe, we can say that was a, conspiracy. Well, the fact, you don't do a very good job. No, but the fact that they're saying one way it could be because of drug overdose, the other way saying that the mob could have had something to do with it.
Well, how many times in history, though, has a drug overdose turned out to be murder? You can inject somebody with drugs.
Yeah, well, I can inject you with drugs right now and get away with it. Now that I can't, because I already said something about it, you know, one can hope. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. What else is out there? Conspiracy theories. Osama bin Laden. Yeah, like that.
There have been people that were close to him that have said that he died sometime between 2004 and 2006.
What?
Yeah.
Did he have like a twin?
Him and Saddam Hussein were notorious for having lookalikes stand in for them in public appearances. If you look at the videos that Osama bin Laden supposedly sent to the U.S.,
okay,
giving warnings and whatnot, a lot of those were proven to not be him.
What?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
You don't believe that? A lot of those videos have been, like, if you look at what he looked like in some of those, you know, he would go from looking young to looking really old to looking younger again.
I don't know. I don't know about all this. Just saying. I don't know about all this. Just saying.
There are people who have said that he was murdered long before the U.S. took him out.
Well, who the hell did they kill then? Osama bin Laden?
Don't know. We don't know about that.
And what about the whole? Because I know there's YouTube videos of it with Hussein, getting hung. Like, I thought we were all past that.
Wait.
Hanging people and shit. Like,
you talking about Saddam Hussein?
Yeah.
His trial didn't take place in the U.S. He was tried in Iraq.
Oh.
With an Iraqi judge, Iraqi jury, Iraqi lawyers.
That's just how much I paid attention. News.
I'm looking this up right now. Benazir Bhutto, I think is how you pronounce her name.
What's that?
You can make me go on Wikipedia, bitch. She was like the prime minister of Pakistan, I believe.
Wow, I'm surprised she was Prime Minister of Pakistan, considering how it's
Benazir
Pakistan.
Bhutto.
And women, they don't look too young.
She was a Pakistani Democratic Socialist who served as the 11th Prime Minister of Pakistan in 2 non-consecutive terms from 1988 until 1990 and 1993 until 1996. She was the daughter of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, a former Prime Minister of Pakistan and the founder of the Pakistan People's Party, which she led.
I'm kind of surprised that she was Prime Minister.
She's very pretty, too.
You know what, though? I'll be honest. The women, Middle Eastern women and Indian women are beautiful, and the kids are gorgeous. And then you have the men. I mean, you get one that slip in every once in a while that are really good looking. But for the most part, just saying, the women are...
A lot of them are. Yeah, they're very beautiful.
Real good looking.
But you're not allowed to see them. They gotta wear their...
Yeah, because of that whole bullshit over there.
Yeah.
The hell is that? And then I see them wearing that shit over here, and I get some of it is for religious factors, but for the most part, it's you're in America, you're allowed to wear jeans and shorts and pants. You're allowed to wear pants and a t-shirt. Crying out loud. You can still wear your head wrap, which I think are called sheets.
I see a lot of people in jeans and
oh yeah, I do
t-shirts
too.
with head things.
Yeah, which that's fine. I see that too. But I do see a lot of people wearing the full garb too, and I'm like, that no.
They can wear whatever they want.
I'm gonna play this video. Her claim. I'm trying to think of what year this was.
Okay.
But I believe she says that he was murdered in 2004.
2004.
I believe.
Okay. I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Why?
I don't know. So they pretty much just killed a lookalike then.
Or they pretended that they killed him.
Okay. Okay. Well then who the fuck did they dump into the ocean then?
She was assassinated shortly after she made these claims too.
There was one report that said that you had arranged to send President Musharraf a letter to be sent in the event of your death by assassination, urging him to investigate certain individuals in his government. Is that true?
Yes, it is true that I wrote to General Musharraf. I received information from General Musharraf that a friendly country had passed on to them the information that I could be attacked by a gang from the Afghan warlord Baitullah Masood, or by Hamza bin Laden, the son of Osama bin Laden, or by the Pakistani Taliban in Islamabad, or by a group in Karachi. So I sent back a letter saying that while these groups may be used, I thought it was more important to go after the people who supported them, who organized them, who could possibly be the financiers or the organizers of the finance for those groups. And I named 3 individuals who I thought were their sympathizers. Now I understand that I could be wrong and my suspicions could be misplaced. But these are the people that I suspect want to stop the restoration of democracy. They want to stop my return because they know in 1993, when Pakistan was on the brink of being declared a terrorist state, I stopped the rise of terrorism. And they know that I can do it again. So I feel that these are the forces that really want to stop not just me, but the democratic process and the will of the people from triumphing.
And in terms of these 3 people that you mentioned, were they members of or associated with the government?
Yes, well, one of them is a very key figure in security. He's a former military officer. He is someone that has had dealings with Jaish-e-Mohammed, one of the banned groups of Maulana Azhar, who was in an Indian jail for decapitating 3 British tourists and 3 American tourists. And he also had dealings with Umar Sheikh, the man who murdered Osama bin Laden. Now I know that having dealings with people does not necessarily mean direct evidence, but I also know that
and the guy interviewing her doesn't even mention it.
In Pakistan,
he just ignores the comment.
Security cannot collapse without there being some blind eye.
Now, if I was interviewing somebody and it said that the man who had murdered Bin Laden, I'd be like, whoa, wait, back that up. Bin Laden's dead?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is...
I would have backed that train up.
What are, you know, why is the government hiding this from us if this actually happened? What does the government have to gain by not telling us that Osama bin Laden's dead?
Absolutely not.
Well, we all know that the government uses scare tactics to get what they want out of us, right?
That is true.
You know, and not only that, it's an excuse for them to continue the war in Afghanistan, right?
Yeah. Well, aren't our troops supposedly getting pulled out?
Every year since Obama has been elected, I've heard they're pulling out all the troops from Afghanistan this year. Every year since he's been in office, they've been saying this. There's still troops in Afghanistan.
Well, who was it that was saying that they wanted to keep our troops in for 100 years if they wanted to who was Obama's running mate 4 years ago?
Biden?
Yeah, didn't he say he wanted to keep the troops over there for 100 years? Oh, you were just on me for for being on my phone? Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. So what the fuck now? What now? I don't want to hear it.
I'm still talking, though. I'm not just, sure.
Yeah, but at least I was like making noises. Or half-assedly contributing. Yes. Yes, that is a word for right now. To the conversation. You just sat there and didn't talk.
Now, when do you think Osama bin Laden was killed?
When they hung him.
They didn't hang him. That's Saddam Hussein.
Oh my god.
Take a history class.
Hey, I
or watch the news.
History.
Watch the news a little. Turn off the ICP for once and watch the news.
Play nice.
Yeah, I went there.
Your ass.
I went there.
Motherfucker. Such a douche, and I wonder why I wonder why I still associate with you. Actually, I should have cut ties with you a while ago. Just saying. You know it's fun.
Here's what I want to know. Who killed Osama bin Laden?
And when?
And when? Why is the government hiding this from us?
Sneaky bastards. That's what that is.
Plus, there's news that came out this week that Osama bin Laden was unarmed and already dying at the time that he was shot. He had gone to this compound in Pakistan where they supposedly raided, and they're saying that he was in bed dying. He was sick because we've known for years that he was suffering from renal failure. His kidneys were going. He didn't have much time left.
So they had Dr. Morgan come in and get the...
But yeah, they said that he was unarmed and already dying at the time that he was shot.
It wasn't Dr. Kevorkian. It was Michael Jackson's doctor that did it. Just saying. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to let it, what happened, settle down for a little bit, and then say, hey, guess what? This is what happened.
But why lie to us?
Because they can.
What does the government stand to prove by lying to its people?
Oh my God.
Obama getting reelected.
Yeah.
Exactly what I said when all this went down in May of last year. I said this is just Obama's way of running his re-election campaign. However, I haven't heard a single thing from Obama's people about Osama bin Laden's death being brought up in the election. He hasn't brought it up once.
Well, maybe because they don't want that to be the main thing or the main focus of the election.
You know what I noticed that night when everything went down and they announced it? On Fox News, they spelled Osama's name with a U.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do remember
And
that.
pointing that out to people.
I was over.
That's retarded.
That actually is how his name is spelled.
Wait, it was?
That is how his name is spelled, yeah.
With a U?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, maybe CNN
It's Usama bin Muhammad bin Ahmed bin Laden.
What's with all the Ben? In his name, like
It's actually spelled USAMAH.
Oh. Well, then we've been spelling shit wrong then.
It's the Americanized version of his name.
Oh.
That's like Muhammad is actually not with an O, it's with a U.
Yeah, I've seen it spelled. I've seen it like that.
Yep. But so many times during the war in Afghanistan, the news would come out and say that there's a possibility that bin Laden was dead. You know, there was rumors of cancer. We knew that he was having kidney problems. It was speculated at one point he was having problems with his liver. There were several bombings of caves where they're like, we're pretty sure bin Laden was in there.
Well, here's something to think about. What if they were lying to us saying that they've already died? How do you know that was just a lie right there?
What do you mean?
As in, like, if
he's still alive?
Yeah, like, why
Still alive now?
No. Like, if they died, whoever died back in 2004 to 2006, how do you know they're not lying about that?
We don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. And we may never know. It's also a possibility that he was assassinated by somebody else, and we kept up this charade because we wanted to be the ones to take credit for it.
There's that.
Because people have lost so much faith in the government. How are we going to regain faith in the government? Okay, we're going to kill Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden. People are going to feel safer. And then there's going to be something else that's going to happen to make people feel unsafe again, so they'll get scared some more. That's all it is. It's scare tactics. The government wants to prove that they have that power over us, that they can make us scared, but then make us feel safe again.
And how many times have we changed alliances with people in the Middle East?
Yeah.
We back these people, and now we back these people, and they're the terrorists now.
I saw a video this week of Romney. Part of his campaign that he's using is we need to invade Iran. We need to get rid of their weapons of mass destruction. That's a big focus point, and we want to be the only country to have nukes. Why do we deserve that privilege? Why can't these other countries have nukes? Iran has never posed a direct threat on us, ever.
Well, neither did Russia or the USSR. But yet, well, we never really got into a war with them. But, there's the whole communist thing.
We were scared of the rise of communism worldwide. Because our country has always had this agenda of the New World Order, which is the one world government, which the UN is sort of like the beginning of that starting to take place, because the UN can now, they can push rules and enforce laws on all these other countries. The countries can't govern themselves anymore without the UN stepping in. The reason we invaded Iraq was because we suspected that they had nuclear weapons, and they wouldn't let the UN's weapons people come in and see if they had them or not. So we went and we attacked them.
That is true. That is true.
And then we get told that they did have these weapons of mass destruction. But there's people in the military that have said no, they didn't. So who do we believe? People who were over there and saw it? Or people in our government who were just speculating it to begin with? Does the government want to be wrong? No. So they're not going to come out and say, oh, there were no nukes over there. Sorry, our bad. Shouldn't have gone to war with them. No, they're not going to say that. Yeah, there was that scandal, was it 2006, I think it was, when that CIA agent, I can't remember her name, but she came out and said a bunch of stuff that Iraq was not trying to get nuclear weapons. Her name was Valerie Plame was her name.
I remember something about that. I do.
That was shit like that.
The Central Intelligence Agency officer.
You really repeating?
I am.
That? So instead of going to like CNN or something like that, you're in a Wikipedia.
It's easier to find information that way.
Yeah, but you can't always trust what's on Wikipedia.
This is where the whole Libby Cheney thing came from when they were on trial for outing her as a CIA operative. Because the names of CIA operatives are confidential.
Well, I sure hope so.
But yeah, they outed her.
So much for priding herself on being secretive.
Yep. But yeah, it was a whole huge thing, and of course Cheney got off, but Libby got in trouble for it. Yeah.
Of course he did. I'm not surprised about that. Of course he did. I mean, no. Just saying.
As much as I'd like Nixon as president, you can't trust people who work for Nixon. You know? Yeah. Nixon was good right up until the last minute.
Yeah. You love that.
He wasn't actually impeached though, was
Who?
he? Nixon.
Nixon? No. He resigned before they had a chance to impeach him. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Well, see, a lot of people have a misconception of what impeaching actually means.
Please, enlighten us.
A lot of people think that when you impeach a politician, what you're doing is having them removed from office. It's not the case. All you're doing is bringing up criminal charges on an elected officer. So, technically, Bill Clinton was impeached. He was never found guilty of anything, though.
I was gonna say, like, the fuck were they trying to impeach him on? Yeah, he got a little something on the side, but
lying under oath.
He lied about it. See, what I don't understand is why that became an issue in the first place. That's another good conspiracy there.
What, whether or not he actually did anything?
No, why the trial existed in the first place, where he lied under oath and got himself in trouble for it.
Yeah,
why was he on trial for?
In the first place.
Yeah, he's not the first president who got a little something on the side.
JFK did. I mean,
JFK
for it.
Theodore Roosevelt. He was a notorious ladies' man.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Love the pussy.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to cut to some music. Well, we're going to take a commercial, too. We've been talking for a half hour, so we're going to cut to a quick commercial, and then we'll be back with Liberate by Disturbed. Alyssa,
Yes.
What's your take on the whole Paul McCartney is dead conspiracy?
I think it's kind of bullshit. I don't believe it.
You don't buy it at all?
I don't buy it. I really don't. I mean, why? You're gonna pick somebody that won second place at a Paul McCartney lookalike contest?
Yeah.
And you're gonna have him be the replacement. So why not have the first place person do it? Wouldn't
it be too obvious though if it was the first place?
Yeah, but didn't you say the only reason why they picked the second place person was because he had musical talent?
Yeah.
But why not have the first place person do it and then just teach him how to play and sing?
Well, to begin with, if you go back to the Beatles in Hamburg, Germany, after Stu Sutcliffe left the band to start his career in art, Paul McCartney, who was originally the lead guitarist, second lead guitarist, he took over bass duties, not because he knew how to play bass, but because he owned a bass, and they said, well, it's better to have a bass player who owns bass and sucks than not have a bass player at all.
Yeah.
So he really didn't know how to play the bass to begin with. But it would be harder to, especially at a time when it was highly demanded that you put out music as often as possible, for the Beatles to go on a break so that they could teach this new guy how to play.
Would have ruined their careers.
Yeah.
Still not buying it.
You're not buying it.
Not buying it.
You know, I don't really buy into it all that much, but the clues are there. You can listen to Beatles songs backwards, even some of the Beatles songs where it's not backwards. You can hear clues here and there, and you could really pass it off as just time period experimentation, which was what a lot of artists were doing. It was about the time Pink Floyd and the Moody Blues came out. The Monkees were experimenting with Moog synthesizers, and you listen to music from the late 60s, you hear weird shit in there anyways.
Well, yeah, but also here's how I see it. They were experimenting with their music. That's the fact. The people who are claiming or who believe this had way too much time on their hands. I mean, come on now. You really do have way too much time on your hands to actually believe it. Plus the fact that it started out as a joke. It was an article somebody wrote, and people took it way out of hand.
There's some things where you look at it and you go, okay, I get it. I could see that. But then there's things that you look at and you're like, that's kind of a reach. You know? Yeah. And probably the best that I have heard and have seen is the Sgt. Pepper album artwork.
Well,
you know, some of the weird things in there, you know, like all the celebrities in the background behind the Beatles are said to be people that they look up to and admire. And one of the key figures in that picture is Aleister Crowley.
Okay.
Okay, and everyone knows about his obsession with magic and stuff like that, and his influence on a lot of music of that time period.
Yeah.
So you could look at that and say, okay, either, you know, his influence on them is this sort of trickery where they want people to think that Paul McCartney's alive, but they're also leaving clues for people. Or you could say that his influence was more on the music and the sounds, because there's a lot of weird sounds going on in there.
Still not buying it. I'm not. I need like hard proof evidence. Like I think I need to actually talk to these people. I mean, I do. I think I do. I'm just not buying it. I mean,
you know, whether you buy it or not, you know, to think about it, you know.
Also,
it's like these guys pulled off. You know, if they pulled this off, if this was really true, they pulled off the greatest hoax probably in history.
Well, yeah. So where is he buried?
Somewhere in Scotland, I believe, is.
And where's his tombstone? And why in Scotland? Because Paul McCartney is actually Scottish. English. So
Maybe it was Scotland. I don't know.
why? And where's his tombstone? Where is it?
There's an unmarked grave.
But why? Why would you unmark it?
Why would you mark it? Why?
They? But I'm just saying that. I'm not buying it. I'm still not buying it though. Why in Scotland? I'm just wondering why Scotland though. Of all places, why there? Why there? Think about it. Why Scotland?
Because they didn't want fans to know.
They could have buried him in England and just do a unmarked grave in England.
That's a possibility.
Why not do it in America? Why not do it in Germany? Why not do it in the USSR? Why did they choose Scotland?
We'll never know. No one's going to talk about this. There's plenty of good documentaries out there that show things. And recently, one that came out I believe 2 years ago, the Paul McCartney Really Is Dead, The Last Testament of George Harrison.
Yeah. That's
excellent film. However, there's things, you watch it and you pick up a lot of the clues, a lot of the evidence, but then there's stuff that you go in there and if you do your research, it's impossible. And probably the biggest one is they say that Paul McCartney was coming home late one night from the studio recording Sgt. Pepper, and there was a young woman in a blue dress who was walking. She looked upset. He picked her up. She didn't realize who he was at first, and when she did, she kind of went a little crazy, and he was distracted and wrecked the car. And he was killed. She survived. Now, they say this woman's name was Rita, or the song Lovely Rita, Meter Maid, came from on the Sgt. Pepper album. And in this George Harrison film, they said that the woman, years later, came out and was threatening to blackmail the surviving members of the Beatles.
How?
By saying that she would come forth with the truth and all this other stuff. So she basically tricked this Paul McCartney lookalike who's been going on about his career as Paul McCartney. She tricked him into marrying her. He says that the woman is Heather Mills.
Oh.
Now,
my God.
This accident happened in 1966.
Okay.
Or 67, something like that.
Okay.
Heather Mills wasn't born until 1968.
That's so full of shit.
Also, George supposedly talks about clues given on the Rubber Soul and Revolver albums and the covers, and there was a few tracks on there. Those albums came out before Sgt. Pepper. So there's no way he was in the studio working on Sgt. Pepper.
Well, didn't the Sgt. Pepper recording sessions happen before Revolver was released?
Because it was after which came first, Revolver or Rubber Soul?
Rubber Soul came first.
Okay, so Revolver, it was after the release of Revolver that they decided they weren't going to tour anymore. They were going to focus all their time in the studio, which is why they started putting out albums at a more rapid pace in the next few years. So they actually spent the longest amount of time recording on Sgt. Pepper, which was, I think, 4 months. And it's just that's bad storytelling there if you think about it. So, let's see. Revolver was released. Let's see. In 66. Okay, Revolver was released August 5th, 1966.
Okay.
More than a year before Sgt. Pepper. Let's see. Yeah, Revolver recorded April 6th through June 21st of 66. Sgt. Pepper was released June 1st, 1967. Recorded between December 6th of 66 and April 21st of 67. Now they say that this car accident happened in November of 66.
Okay.
There's no way. If they didn't start recording until December 6th of 66.
A month to, no. Really? A month to, I for some reason find it hard to believe that it would take a month for somebody to learn all of their songs, especially if they were touring.
They weren't touring.
They weren't touring at the time.
I know. I'm just saying. I would find it hard to believe that. Why? It's not like
Well, this lookalike contest had already taken place in 66.
Well, yeah.
This was completely separate from the, the actual. They didn't say let's have a lookalike contest because Paul McCartney's dead. We'll replace him. They said, look, there was this lookalike contest in Canada. You guys could possibly find somebody to stand in for Paul McCartney there, But, in this film, even though it's a great film, it's excellent entertainment. There's so much in there where you go, oh my god, yeah, that's totally possible. But then there's stuff where you're like, get the fuck out of here. Really? Especially the whole Heather Mills thing. And then the detective who suggests that they, not release anything to the public. His name was Maxwell. Maxwell Silverhammer, the Beatles song, they're just references to Beatles songs, like the woman who he picked up, her name was Rita. The one thing though that you can look at and go, okay, this could be possible is there are several Beatles songs that came out after that reference car accidents.
Still reference a car accident. I'm just saying,
the song that they say pretty much tells the story is the song "A Day in the Life," the last track on Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah.
And the one line in that song, he blew his mind out in the car. That's the one line that people really reference.
Yeah, but that was something else too. Something else. Unrelated to the Beatles.
The thing is, we'll never know.
I'm still not buying it.
But I have right here in front of me the Abbey Road album, which was where everything originated. I actually have the album on vinyl here. How this all started was people looked at it and they said, this is strange. Even though it's very basic, it doesn't even say the Beatles or Abbey Road on the album cover. Even though it's a basic album cover, it's got a lot going on here. Okay, if you look at the album, anybody, you're on your computer right now, look up the Abbey Road album cover. Okay, what you have is the four Beatles crossing the street. It's right outside the studio. They shut down the road for 10 minutes, took the picture. The first person you see is John Lennon, wearing all white. They say that sort of represents a clergy. So what we're seeing here is a funeral procession. You have John Lennon in all white, dressed as a clergy. You have Ringo in a black suit, much like the funeral director. Then you have Paul McCartney,
barefoot,
wearing a suit, barefoot, smoking a cigarette with his right hand. Everyone knows Paul McCartney's left-handed. Okay? He's barefoot. That's the key thing. Because in a lot of cultures, mostly the Indian culture, which was something that they were very into at the time, had a huge influence on their music. In Indian culture, they bury their dead barefoot.
Too much time on our hands.
And then, of course, you have George Harrison, last.
The Undertaker.
No.
Yeah.
Gravedigger. Ringo's the Undertaker. Funeral director, yeah.
Okay.
Which they don't use that term anymore, by the way.
What, Undertaker? No, it's funeral director.
Too much time on their hands. And people, don't read too much into it. God damn. I'm just saying, that's why I'm not sold on this. Too much time on your hands. Y'all got nothing better to do.
Well, you know, Paul McCartney's explanation for why he didn't have shoes was he hates wearing shoes, never ever wore shoes. He lived like 2 seconds away from the studio, which is right outside of the studios where this photo was taken. He walked there barefoot. They said they were going to do the photo. He didn't want to run home and get shoes, so he just boom went out there and he took the picture.
And maybe he was smoking a cigarette in his right hand so you could see it.
Exactly.
It's exactly what he said. He said he wanted the cigarette to be visible in the picture, so he held it in his right hand. He said because you could see like his hand, his jacket slightly open there. He said he had just moved his hand back, like as they snapped the picture, his hand had just gotten back to in place and switching the cigarette. Yeah.
Proves my point that people have too much time on their hands.
Yeah, and then if you look at the back, okay, the thing that people talk about, which I don't really give a shit about, this was these dots up here it's almost in the top left-hand corner. They say if you connect the dots, it makes a number 3, whatever. It's stupid. Then you have this blurry picture of the woman in the blue dress. They say, blah, blah, blah. Do we want to believe the Beatles, Paul McCartney is dead conspiracy? No.
No, but you can also say, people can also say it's a precursor to Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky because she was wearing a blue dress too. Just throwing it out there. So you got that too. Think about that, people. Think about that. Just saying.
But Paul McCartney wasn't smoking a cigar. Well, of course, neither was Bill Clinton. He was doing other things with a cigar.
Yeah, but still.
You're going to the Bill Clinton. Who uses a cigar as a vibrator?
That's just
jam that cigar up in her. What the?
Why are you wasting a cigar? That's what I'm saying.
Maybe he smoked it afterwards.
Ew, first of all. Ew. Second of all.
You wouldn't smoke a cigar after it's been in someone's hoo-ha?
No.
I don't want to smell that burning.
That's not going to be burning.
Have you not smoked a cigar before?
It's going to be soaked into the cigar.
Yeah. No.
But, okay, like if I was to stick a cigarette in you, I'm not going to stick the end that I light into your vagina.
No.
I'm going to stick the end that goes in my mouth.
But there's no.
But.
I don't know.
Why? Why the fuck would you want to mess up a cigar? Or a cigarette for that matter?
He's Bill Clinton. He can do whatever he wants.
Doesn't matter.
Speaking of smoking.
What? Still, why the fuck would you do that though? I bet you anything. Those cigars did not come cheap, alright?
No.
So why the fuck? I'm gonna be honest. If somebody gives me a satisfying answer, why the fuck would you mess
By the way, Monica Lewinsky, very attractive woman. I would totally hit that.
Okay.
I would.
Maybe she's listening.
I don't blame him.
Monica Lewinsky,
I don't blame
if
him.
you're listening.
Monica Lewinsky is hot. I don't blame him for hitting it. I really don't.
Hit Brandon. He'll tap it. He'll tap that.
No, I don't know if I'm going to go there after Tom Green's been there, though.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah, Tom Green dated her for a while.
Yeah, you don't remember that?
Yeah.
No.
And that was around the time she put out that line of purses and shit.
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember any.
Tom Green also dated Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Well, she's not married.
Didn't he burn down her house?
With child. No, I didn't hear any of that.
Tom Green also televised his testicular cancer surgery.
Yes, he did.
Well, Carney Wilson also.
He also painted lesbians doing it on his parents' hood of their car. Yeah.
Tom Green.
It's crazy Canadians.
Yeah, especially like Avril Lavigne and Ted Kroger.
We discussed that last week.
I know. You said you're the one that brought up crazy Canadians. So why the fuck would you get engaged after 6 months? I'm sorry, but that's just...
Why would Avril Lavigne marry Mr. Ed?
I'm sorry.
Not the point. Anyway.
I didn't know she had a bachelor's degree in psychology.
Who?
Monica Lewinsky.
Smart.
She is. She's very smart.
Master's degree in social psychology.
That's why she was getting porked by the president. Actually, all he says that happened was oral.
Why fucking lie about it in the first place? I mean, goddamn. Oh, I got. I mean, you don't think that shit would have gotten out? Taking Nixon route, plan. This never happened. Whatever.
Have you ever known of a man to turn down sex, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well.
I have too.
Alright, let me rephrase that.
I have.
Have you ever known of a man to turn down some strange?
No.
There you go.
But that's just. I know we're gonna get somebody saying, you know what? Yes, I have.
I've never turned down some strange.
Never?
Never. Really? I don't know.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just want.
Well, he is a man whore.
That is true. You are a man whore. I mean, let's just face it, you are. Well, your numbers got to be getting up there.
We're not going to discuss that.
Oh, we can discuss my personal life on the radio. We can discuss yours too.
No, we're not going to discuss that.
I'm just saying.
Oh, are you getting embarrassed?
No.
So what's your number now?
We're not going to talk about that.
So what? We can't talk. So what? We can talk about me, but we can't talk about.
We've never talked about how many dudes you've had sex with, how many cocks you've had in your mouth.
Hey, there's a difference between those numbers.
There actually is. I'm just saying.
Like in Clerks.
Why are you any different
suck
than
37 dicks?
No.
It was a Clerks reference. I'm in a row.
Hey, try not to suck any dick on your way through the parking lot.
Oh, I can't go to the store to buy a pack of smokes without running into 9 guys in front.
Wow, my preview.
Now, if you were Monica Lewinsky, would you have done something with Bill Clinton?
Oh, I still would have.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Back in the day, Bill Clinton was attractive.
I wouldn't.
Well, plus, he's got that personality.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good looking he is. He's got that personality. He can convince anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, you really wouldn't have done Bill Clinton.
No.
Not now after all the heart problems, because I wouldn't want to kill him, but...
Yeah, no. I honestly would not.
I would do Laura Bush.
Ew.
What do you mean, ew? Laura Bush is very attractive.
That's like walking around saying I have a huge penis.
I do,
That honestly, seriously, that line would seriously not work on me, because all I'm going to do is look at you and be like, yeah, and just walk away. Like, that line
and then I'd whip it out and
Why
prove
when I
it.
Google Laura Bush does it say Laura Bush killed a guy?
Like
She did.
that. She did. Like, that line.
Don't you remember that from Family Guy?
No. I'm clicking on it.
Laura Bush killed a guy.
Family Guy stirs controversy with Laura Bush killed a guy.
That's why you shouldn't drink and drive.
That is true.
I would totally do Laura Bush. And I would do Ann Romney, too. Is that her name, Ann?
I think so, yeah.
Ann Romney.
She's not bad looking.
She's,
I do Michelle Obama.
I would.
Yeah, I would.
We're getting off topic here. Thought Ron was here for a minute.
Don't we usually get off topic anymore?
Not unless Ron's here, usually.
Okay. Okay, the addiction episode that we had. Okay.
Oh yeah, that was country. That was country's fault.
Completely went off topic. So I don't want to hear it.
Oh, I read something about a poll where 32% of people, only 32% of people believe that Kennedy was actually killed by a lone gunman. How interesting is that? Only 32 people. Or 32% of
32 people?
That's right.
Really?
A third of the people polled. That's it. 2/3 of people believe that it was bullshit.
I believe it is bullshit. It's impossible.
So you're in that 2/3 that...
It's not about what's been proven. It's not about who's come forward and talked about it. It's about logic. It's about logic. There's no way that him getting shot from behind is going to blow his brain behind him. Sorry. And another thing, speaking of his brain, why did it disappear? What happened to Kennedy's brain? They don't know where it is. It was lost during the autopsy.
How can you lose a fucking brain?
Especially the president's brain. The president just got assassinated. We're going to do an autopsy on him. Oops, we lost his brain.
Seriously.
Bullshit.
How can you lose a brain?
Maybe it was just all goop and they just threw it away and said, I don't know what happened to it.
They had pictures of it before they lost it. What happened to Kennedy's brain? Part of the cover-up there.
Maybe it's in the Theater Museum. The
Johnson wanted to be president so bad. That's all he wanted.
We got it.
They,
3 years.
You know, there's a possibility Johnson was a part of it.
We got it. He got it. Just saying, he got it. Whoa, why is there dead air?
I don't hear any dead air. What are you talking about?
Well, there was until I started talking.
Montauk project? What is a Montauk project? That's what I'm doing. Psychological warfare, huh?
That could be a bit.
Is that like MK Ultra?
Probably.
I wonder if that's where they got the idea for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Could be.
Maybe.
That's interesting. What's Project Rainbow?
She's just doing all kinds of research over there.
She is. It's alright.
Oh, that's not fun. Whatever.
See? Dead air.
There's not dead air.
I was talking.
Yeah, but
I'm not dead air.
No. You know what? Listen, parts of it were being picked up. Of what you were saying.
I don't talk very loud. I'm sorry.
Do you believe that the Illuminati runs our government? No. Why? Are you one of these people that wants to believe everything they're told? That does believe everything they're told? Osama bin Laden was killed last year. Saddam Hussein had nukes.
See, you know what makes us feel safer? If we believe that there is one demented person that came up with something and acted on their own. That's what we want to believe. So a lot of conspiracy theorists are seen as crazy because they think that a lot of people are involved.
But those are also people that use logic, though. People who, look at every angle.
Crazy shit. Like, I just find it hard to believe with a lot of these things. Probably because I don't have that much time on my hands to actually think about it. So
It's not about time on your hands. It's about, I don't know.
I don't think too much into it. I'll put it like that.
After 9/11 happened, it took about 24 hours for me to go, okay, something isn't right here.
See, I didn't go that way, but
Of course, I wasn't one of those people who said, oh, the government did it themselves. They did everything.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
The government screwed up, and they covered their tracks. We're not supposed to believe that our government can screw up, that our government isn't going to be there to protect us.
Okay.
It's true. Do you want to believe that if we were invaded by another country, that our government wouldn't want to be there for us?
Oh.
I actually don't believe they would be. I don't believe that the military would stop us from an attack. No. I don't think they would. I think they would want the lower class to rise up and get, a great deal of them taken out, and then bring in the military and go, okay, we're going to clean up this mess. Did you ever see the movie Red Dawn?
No, I haven't.
That's sort of what happened there. The Russians invaded, and these little militias started popping up, and they were all poor people. And once the government started, once the Russians started taking out all the poor people, then the government came in and said, all right, we're gonna clean this up now. Because the government wants to snuff out the lower class.
Well, yeah, that's true. So true.
The government doesn't want poor people in this country. Why do you think they didn't act on Hurricane Katrina right away?
I'm reading an article, and George H.W. Bush has come up 3 times. What the hell? Does everything point back to him?
Yes, probably. Because he's the devil,
He's the one that gave the Taliban their weapons.
Yeah. I don't know all that shit.
A lot of people don't want to look into any of this or think about it because it scares them.
True.
It scares them to think that nothing being told them that is true.
That's very true.
And if they think too much into it, it's like, well, what do I believe and what don't I? You don't know what to believe.
The government has lied to us so much, it's hard to believe anything they say, though.
And if we don't believe everything, well, how are we supposed to get along in our daily lives? We can't hate them.
But you can't leave it all up to guys like Richard Belzer and Jesse Ventura and Alex Jones to be the only ones to warn us. We can't let them be the ones to do all the research for us to figure all this stuff out.
Here's how I see it. I must not be paying attention, that much attention, because some of the shit that comes out, at times I just don't care, and I don't pay attention to it. So, which is probably why I'm not real confident right at this moment, because...
Why don't you care, though?
Okay.
It doesn't affect you.
Right.
It does, though.
Apathy.
How does Paul McCartney dying in a car crash in November affect me?
I'm not saying that does, but if...
Or how does Bill Clinton getting impeached, how does that affect me? That's how I see it.
It's not necessarily the events. It's the idea that things are being covered up for some kind of other purpose.
Exactly. And, if Bill Clinton would have been removed from office because of this, who would have been our president?
Al Gore.
Okay. Doesn't that mean that, at the time that this happened, it was 96, 97, something like that? Okay, how would, if Al Gore would have taken over, how would things have been different?
See,
At the time, people were thinking, okay, well, if Bill Clinton is taken out of office, Al Gore becomes president, what's going to change? What's going to happen?
That's more of a what if.
But at that time, and you think about it, you're like, what's going to happen when Al Gore becomes president?
See, that's when it becomes a what if situation, not a conspiracy theory.
Okay. But it all begins with a conspiracy. That's the big picture here, is there's a lot of people behind this situation doing a lot of things that are illegal. There's conspiracies in so many things, like the O.J. Simpson trial. There's conspiracies behind that.
There's conspiracies behind most of the musicians that have died. There's conspiracies behind all of the politicians and all the world leaders and everything. And whether or not they're true or not, it's still interesting to think about, even if you don't believe it.
Well, yeah.
It's just kind of a logic exercise, I guess.
Alyssa.
What?
How many people killed Lincoln?
How many people?
Yes.
If you think about it. 2. 1. Well, if we really want to think about it, 1, because of John Wilkes Booth killing him. But, actually 3. 2. Second one, doctor that attended to him. His wife probably could have done something to, I don't know, with preventing anything to happen though, but, 2. John Wilkes Booth and the doctor that presided over the president while he through this.
In the turmoil that followed the assassination of President Lincoln, scores of suspected accomplices were arrested and thrown into prison. All the people who were discovered to have had anything to do with the assassination or anyone with the slightest contact with Booth or Harold in their flight were put behind bars.
There was a movie about that, and because the woman that John Wilkes Booth was living with supposedly knew about it. Or so she was behind it. I don't know, but there was a woman that was involved, and there was actually a movie about it.
Mary Surratt.
Yeah, her.
She was hung. She was the first woman to ever be given the death penalty in the United States.
Yeah, I did. I
think there was 12 total people that were behind it.
Oh, I didn't know about all that.
Yeah. There's a lot of people put to death. But in our history classes in high school, we are taught that one man assassinated the president. They don't tell us
It goes
about
back
anything
to
else.
one demented person because it makes us feel safer if they're taken out.
Exactly. There's a lot of people put to death, though, for that. So if, and if you think about it, okay, have you ever been to Ford's Theater?
No.
Washington, D.C.? Okay, I've been there, and like the balcony that he sat in is like roped off.
Yeah,
you can't get in there, but you can
past it, but
you can get like behind the balcony. And the way it's sort of set up, you go in there and it's got the 4 seats there, which is where Lincoln and his wife were sitting, and then Johnson and his wife were sitting there. And you come up behind where Lincoln was sitting. He was like dead center. You just pull back the curtain, stick the gun out there, shoot him, and he could have taken off through the back.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but instead he opened up the curtain, walked out there, shot him, and then jumped off the balcony.
Well, wanted to be bold. In that route.
But if you think about it, okay, for Lincoln to have been killed by one person, it's believable with that scenario. Just one guy gets the idea to do it, walks up behind him, pulls the trigger, it's over and done with. Now, for Kennedy to be killed by one person, it's a hell of a lot less believable, right?
Yeah, I actually was watching something about that on History International channel. I don't remember too much about it though, but they were saying that somebody hired him to do it or looked into it because he was a sniper, I think.
Oswald?
Yeah. For I don't remember what branch of the military he was in, but he was a sniper. But there was somebody else.
Well,
that wanted to. It was the mafia, I think, that hired him to do it.
At the time, the Kennedy family, everyone knows this is common knowledge, made their money off of the mob.
The whole JFK conspiracy thing, that I can get behind. But a lot of the other conspiracies that are out there, I can't. Okay,
but the Kennedy family made their money bootlegging during Prohibition.
Oh, yeah.
They had deals with the mob, and it said that a lot of the campaign contributions for Kennedy's election and his upcoming re-election were coming from the mob. Okay? At the time, the mob was in cahoots with the CIA. The mob was running this country in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
No shit, I wouldn't be surprised if I had a family member that was, involved somehow. I mean, with less than, why not? I wouldn't be surprised.
So for the mob to come in and say, look, John, you made all these promises to us when we gave you all that money. We're going to get this debt somehow, So for them to, come in and get the CIA to have the Secret Service stand down that day wouldn't be that hard. Because if you watch those videos, after that first shot is fired, what does the Secret Service do? There's nobody going in there to protect the guy. Their job is to take a bullet for the president. When you become a Secret Service member, you know that if somebody pulls out a gun on the president, your life is at stake.
Oh, yeah.
Because you are supposed to jump in front of that bullet. These are people who are hired to give their lives for our president.
And actually, if you think about it, though, no, because I was going to say that. After what happened to Lincoln, you would think that the Secret Service would change. After the event that happened, I would think that how they go about things changed. Hey, we need to be more kick-ass about our jobs than we originally thought we were going to be.
Yeah. And that's the thing, that then you have the attempted assassination on Reagan almost 20 years later. The Secret Service did their job, and that's why they only took one bullet.
Yeah. And the guy survived. That took the bullet.
Yeah.
Right in the gut is where it hit him.
That's how the Secret Service is supposed to work.
Actually, I was watching a show, and it was Secret Service secrets, and there's when they do the inauguration parade, there's actually a decoy limo, presidential limo. And they call the presidential limo the Beast, because it actually is. This thing is, heavy duty shit.
Yeah, on the way to being sworn in as president, you don't want him to die.
No. So there's actually two. They made two of these things, alright? And you have to be some sort of driver to be able to do this, because in case they get ambushed on the way there, the cars are actually, like, they have to start backing up, like, or else, like, there's precision and, like, very detailed oriented when it comes actually taking the route. And there's 3 different routes, too.
Yeah.
That they could take. There's one that's more of a direct shot. There's another one where they have to make a left turn, another one where they have to make a right turn somewhere. But it's very detailed oriented on how they do all of this. Oh, and also they weld the sewer top shut during the inauguration. Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting.
And then another great conspiracy, and one of the first people to come public stating that it was a conspiracy was, of course, Alex Jones, well-known conservative.
Conspiracy theorist?
But he's a conservative.
He's right wing.
He worked for, I believe it was Fox News. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember who he worked for, but because of his conspiracy theories on 9/11, he lost his job. Now has an online show where he's actually doing a hell of a lot better. But he was one of the first ones to come out and say that there's no way that it happened the way that they say it happened.
Well, no. Well, that's also you got to think about, could there have been wind at the time? If so, which direction was it going out? Also, how fast was the wind blowing?
What does the wind have to do with planes hitting buildings?
The bullet.
We're off of Kennedy right now.
Oh, I know, but I'm just...
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wind actually has very little to do with the bullet being fired, though. Because the bullet gets fired so fast that it'll cut the wind.
Thank you for diminishing my pride moment right there of actually knowing something, jackass. For once, I was taking pride in the fact that I knew something, and then you just had to make me feel this.
We could talk about Eisenhower's secret meetings with the aliens again. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go.
That is complete bullshit.
We're going to go to a commercial. We're going to go to a commercial, and then we're going to come back with the top 5 list.
Okay.
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us. What flavor is this?
Knock it off, Julie.
What?
I don't need you to tell me how fucking good my coffee is, okay? I'm the one who buys it. I know how good it is. When Bonnie goes shopping, she buys shit. I buy the gourmet expensive stuff because when I drink it, I want to taste it. But you know what's on my mind right now? It ain't the coffee in my kitchen. It's the dead nigger in my garage.
Oh, Jimmy, don't even worry about it.
No, look at me. Don't think about anything. I want to ask you a question. When you came pulling in here, did you notice a sign out in the front of my house that said dead nigger storage?
Jimmy, you know I ain't seen no shit.
Did you notice a sign in the front of my house that said dead nigger storage?
No, I didn't.
You know why you didn't see that sign?
Why?
Because it ain't there, because storing dead niggers ain't my fucking business. That's why.
All right, it's time for the top 5 list.
Oh, man. Okay, I will admit that I did have some help.
If you put Mysterious Ways by U2 on there, you're fired.
Actually, no, it's not. I didn't.
Okay. Or Building a Mystery by Sarah McLachlan.
No,
okay.
It's not. Nothing. No.
We're doing the top 5 mysterious songs.
I actually did ask for help, so 3 of the songs were. Oh, but.
Hey, it's cool.
Oh, that's
It's cool. What do we got going on, Melissa?
All right, number 5. I actually have "Stairway to Heaven" by Led Zeppelin.
Nice. That's interesting.
Yes. Number 4, I have "Witchy Woman" by The Eagles.
Okay.
Number 3 was "Gimme Shelter."
That's the second time this song has appeared on one of your lists.
I know. Number 2, I have "I Am the Walrus" by the Beatles. Kind of weird, yeah. And number 1, I have "Black Magic Woman" by Santana.
How did I know that was going to be your number 1?
Because why not? Why not?
Wow. I feel like my list is superior to yours.
Of course you do. You always feel superior.
Yeah, you do. You have
All right.
Texas.
At number 5, I have Silent Lucidity by Queensryche.
Really?
See, I think you picked songs that were mysterious lyrically. I picked songs that were mysterious musically. Which kind of makes it a little different. At number 4, I chose a sort of obscure song not a lot of people know about, In a Lonely Place by Joy Division.
Never heard. No.
Some people are familiar with that song because they know the cover that Bush did for the Crow City of Angels soundtrack. That's where a lot of people know that song from. At number 3, I chose a song that was kind of freaked me out as a kid. It was just so strange and eerie and weird, and that's Mama by Genesis. At number 2, probably one of the eeriest songs that I've ever heard, just because it's dark. It almost sounds like a funeral sort of song, but then the lyrics are just sick and sort of demented, and that's Star Me Kitten by R.E.M.
Really?
And at number 1, I sort of did a cop out here. I apologize about this, but it probably is one of the most mysterious songs in history, and I chose it because I felt that it deserved to be a number 1, and that's the Beatles, Revolution number 9.
You are.
I know, it's a cop out, right?
Yeah.
But this is the top 5 most mysterious songs, and who doesn't listen to that song and sort of get chills because of it? Because it's strange, it's weird, and you think about it, it was so ahead of its time because it was really the first example that we had of sampling and just very bizarre things going on in that song. And of course, that's where a lot of the Paul McCartney is dead rumors came from. If you play that song backwards, you got the Turn Me On, Deadman, and all that stuff. It's just very, very bizarre.
That is true.
Alright, we're going to take a brief musical break. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here is Alice Cooper with Feed My Frankenstein. Okay, we're back. The reason I played that Alice Cooper song is because next month we are going to be celebrating Macabre Madness. We've got 4 Sundays in October, and they're all going to be Halloween and horror oriented.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited about that. And we are working right now to secure our Halloween special. It'll be the last Sunday of the month. We are going to be taking a trip to a haunted location with a paranormal investigations group.
That's if you can.
Oh, I'm already working on everything. I already got everything going on.
Really?
Yes, and we are going to attempt to conjure up some spirits.
Attempt.
We are going to attempt.
Okay. Let's see how well this goes.
I have a feeling it's going to go very well.
Really?
I have that feeling, yes.
Well, depending on where we go.
There's a multitude of different places that we could go to visit and hopefully get some really cool stuff for the show. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, here's hoping.
Yeah.
I don't know though, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And anytime anybody wants to join us on our show, we use Skype. It's Planet Chaos Radio on Skype. You could join in any of our discussions. In fact, we encourage that.
Yes.
It'll keep us from babbling about nonsense.
Please. Pretty please. I mean, if you want to join in on us babbling in our nonsense, then please.
Or you could always email us.
Yeah.
It's planetchaosradio@gmail.com. If if you have anything to add and you don't want your voice to be on the air.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So, do you have anything to add right now? Are you still baffled by some of these conspiracies that we've been discussing?
I don't know. I think I'm more on the baffled aspect of it all. Because right now I can't think of anything. But, you know, it happens.
It's something that really makes you think.
That is true. That is true. I mean, some of them I do want to claim bullshit on, but, you know.
Like which ones?
I don't know. Like.
Be specific.
Specific. Okay. Bullshit on who was it? Eisenhower?
Yeah.
And meet with the aliens? Bullshit.
Why is that?
Really? No on aliens. No.
You don't believe in aliens?
Nope.
Why? Why don't you believe in aliens?
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because why would a creator of any kind, whether it's our God or someone else's God, create all that out there in space and only put life on one planet?
Why not?
Well, why?
Sounds more like a religious thing than anything.
No. It could have also been, God created us first and said, wow, after a period of time, said, wow, these people are fucking up. I'm going to go try this someplace else. And completely abandoned us and moved on to another planet. Or if it's not a religious thing, if it's just, evolution, why couldn't things evolve on other planets? There's so much out there, far, far away, that we can't even see to investigate what's going on over there.
Science. Science, we may not have telescopes that are that strong, or we may not have satellites that have gone out that far. Yes.
Plus, Buzz Aldrin came out a few years ago and said that during the Apollo 11 mission, they encountered several unexplained flying objects. That also, they picked up something too during the unmanned orbits around the Earth, things that they couldn't explain. Also, have you ever watched this the show on the History Channel called Ancient Aliens?
I don't watch it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I watched the pilot episode, which was like this 2-hour-long documentary, and it got me saying, well, it's possible, because, you look at some of these drawings on the pyramids, these crazy-looking creatures. Plus, how could they build these large pyramids in such a short period of time? And, what are these things that look like landing pads out in the middle of the desert?
Because they believed at the time that there were something out there at the time. Plus, it's called manpower. At the time, Egypt was doing so great that they had the manpower to actually build the fucking pyramid.
Millions of people working round the clock for 20 years?
Yes. Think about it. And you've got the temples of Hatshepsut and...
How do they move these 7-ton bricks?
Manpower.
How many men would it take? They got to constantly be moving bricks.
Yeah.
Constantly. It's impossible. Think about the building of the pyramids is impossible.
But
plus, in order to make some of these drawings on the walls in these pyramids, how did they get the light?
Torches.
And in some of these places, there's not enough oxygen to light a torch.
Mirrors?
They attempted to try the mirror trick. It doesn't work. In fact, Mythbusters debunked that one.
And you also got to think about the structure of the human body was different also at the time.
How so?
They could have been smaller, but they could have had a lot of strength, or they could have moved faster. The human body has evolved, and maybe their structure in the human body back then in Egypt could be way different than what it is now.
I don't know. I still think that it's a possibility. Have you ever heard of what's called a Baghdad battery?
No.
All right. The Baghdad battery, sometimes referred to as the Parthian battery, is the common name for a number of artifacts created in Mesopotamia during the dynasties of Parthian and Sassanid, the early centuries of AD, probably discovered in 1936 in the village of Koyut Rabuz near Baghdad, Iraq. These artifacts came to wider attention in 1938 when Wilhelm Koenig, the German director of the National Museum of Iraq, found the objects in the museum's collection. In 1940, Koenig published a paper speculating that they may have been galvanic cells, perhaps used for electroplating gold onto silver objects. Though far from settled, the interpretation continues to be considered as at least a hypothetical possibility. If correct, the artifacts would predate Alessandro Volta's 1800 invention of the electrochemical cell by more than a millennium.
Okay.
These things have the ability to generate an electrical current.
And what makes you think it was aliens?
Who's saying it's aliens? This is part of the hypothesis of how they got light in the pyramids.
Okay. Which is kind of makes you wonder who came up with that idea. Like, who was the smart ass that came up with that idea?
It's possible that that it was technology passed down from aliens. You know, if you think about it, I know you've read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's possible that some of these biblical stories that we hear about, you know, you talk about, you know, fires in the sky and loud, thunderous noises. Same things that people hear when they talk about spotting a UFO. The same types of things.
But at the time, it could have been a comet.
Could have been. But, you know, it's like, I even, you know, while I was watching it, I was talking to Crystal about this, and I said, you know, it's possible that either these biblical stories are not truly handed down from our God, if we have a God. It's possible that, you know, these stories were written about these aliens that came down and posed as gods and prophets and whatnot.
So in other words, Jesus was an alien.
It's possible.
Oh my god, that's so bullshit.
Or, you know, like, if these alien beings were coming down here and investigating before they ever made contact with the primitive people, they knew our belief system, our primitive belief system, and they, you know, an alien could have come down and said, I am your God. Here I am.
So in other words, I think it was Ramses, either Ramses or Ramses II had red hair. At that time, how many redheads do you know in ancient Egypt? But he lived to be like 90. So was he, and at that time, that was unheard of, especially at that time. So was he an alien?
It's possible. It really is. Anything really is possible. You know, we have no recorded history from that time period, so it's possible. Anything is possible.
You do have the hieroglyphics.
Yeah. But how well is that translated into English?
Probably
How well is Aramaic truly translated to English? Or Greek or Latin or any of the other primitive languages that it was translated to first? You know? We don't know. That's the thing. And, a lot of religious skeptics will come out and say, oh, the Bible was written by man, so how true can it be? True, it was. But you also have these stories that were passed down word of mouth for generations before ever being written. Okay,
so you're basically saying that the God that I believe in is an alien.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a possibility. Okay, and when when a story is passed down word of mouth, every time it's told, it's going to get changed somehow. So
basically, the epic flood of Noah's Ark, alien created by an alien.
You never know.
Oh my God, you're so full of shit.
It is a possibility. Anything is possible. It's a big fucking universe out there. Anything is possible. You can't say that, okay, an alien coming down and pretending to be God or Jesus or Abraham or any other possible prophet, Muhammad or whoever else, you can't say that that is impossible because it's not impossible. It's very possible. Right?
When it comes to aliens, I don't believe in them.
But why? What's your reasoning for not believing?
Because I don't have proof. There's no proof. Like, I actually want to see an alien in person to believe.
Well, there's also no proof that the pyramids were built by man.
And there's no proof that they were built by aliens.
There's no proof that terrorists committed 9/11. There's no proof that Kennedy was shot by one man. It's all about logic and reason. You got to look at everything with a sort of skeptical eye and say, you know what? I'm going to look at this at every possible angle, and I'm going to form my own belief because of it.
So it was an alien that told Oswald, hey, you gotta go kill this person. And it was an alien that told Morrison, hey, you need to take all these drugs to commit suicide, right?
When did I say that?
No, but I'm just saying, that's what it kind of sounds like.
Where's the logic in that? But to say that there is a possibility that Eisenhower met with aliens and had these secret meetings, that's possible. Right?
I guess.
Why would you believe that there's nothing else out there when there's so much evidence to the contrary? Right?
Yeah, but still, Photoshop people, just saying.
Not everything is going to be photoshopped.
Oh yeah.
I've seen videos, because I have probably watched at least 1,000 hours of documentaries and footage and stuff like that from 9/11, and I've seen people Photoshop UFOs into 9/11 videos.
Well, yeah.
That's something where you're like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to pass this off as bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that, but
there's also
not every single UFO video is going to be a phony. There was just a few years ago, several places, and they were all coastal places too, had the same, it looked like a flight pattern. These three objects just hovering over the coast. They would sit there for like a half hour or so, and then boom, take off and vanish. And they weren't coming towards the Earth. They were, without a doubt, in Earth's atmosphere because they were not that far up.
Could be the government.
Could be.
Because I'm sure they've got droids and all kinds of shit like that can do that.
Well, that goes back to another 9/11 theory, because our government has a plane that they were developing in 99-2000 that could fly unmanned. And if you take a look at this plane, it looks like a C-130 airplane, which is what we see in the Youngstown Warren area flying overhead all the time because of the air base being close by. It looks just like one of those. All right? And after investigating several hours and several different angles of the 9/11 footage, I have come to the conclusion that these planes that flew into the World Trade Centers were not passenger planes. I'm convinced of it. They look like C-130s. They're much larger than a 747 or 747 or 737.
I think it's 747.
747.
Yeah.
Plus, there's no passenger windows.
So you think?
That's one way to look at it. It really is.
Well, I don't know.
Because it's not like, we have kamikaze pilots in the United States that are going to say, all right, I'm going to risk my life flying this plane at the World Trade Center so that George W. Bush can get richer. Not possible. Okay? Another possibility is that, yes, terrorists did attack. Yes, we knew about it. Yes, we did nothing to stop it. Okay? You're taking the government's word for it right now. But to put another spin on it, why did those buildings collapse the way they did when they did? There's no possible way that the steel all the way at the bottom was weak enough to send a chain reaction to the top to have it fall straight down the way it did.
So you're saying that the people who created the World Trade Towers knew this was going to happen ahead of time?
No. But one way to look at it is, okay, let's say the World Trade Center gets hit by a plane, terrorist attack, all right?
Okay.
That's what we're told happened. Government knew about it, heard about it, whatever. They knew it was a possibility, did nothing to stop it. All of a sudden, it happens for real. Cheney is off playing war games in North Carolina and Virginia. He has the majority of our Air Force and National Guard down there fucking around. All right?
Yeah.
Whose job is it now to make sure that there is no more death and destruction in New York City? Whose job is it now?
In New York City?
New York City Police and Fire Department.
Yeah.
So what has to be done so that no more people die? Those buildings have to come down. Because if those buildings were to fall naturally, and engineers all over the world have said this, those buildings should have collapsed. They should have fallen at an angle. Now, two buildings, one falling in an angle this way, and the other falling in an angle the other way.
They would collapse onto themselves.
No, they wouldn't have fallen. No, they wouldn't have fallen straight down. They would have toppled.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
They would have toppled into each other.
No, because one would have been falling to the left, the other one would have been falling to the right. They would not have fallen onto each other. Plus, they would have collapsed at different times. All right. So, what would have happened is you would have seen widespread destruction throughout Manhattan. The government doesn't want that to happen. So what's the best way to avoid death on a scale of the millions in a disaster like this?
You have them fall the way they did.
Controlled demolition. Okay, there's people who said that they heard a series of explosions. All right. Now, if it is the fire department and the police department's job to make sure that nothing else happens, they're going up and they're evacuating people.
Yeah.
What's to stop them from placing high-powered bombs in four corners of every floor that they touch?
They couldn't have known about it for them to do it ahead of time that this was going to happen. They couldn't have known about that.
What?
That as they couldn't have known that the planes were going to hit for them to go up each and every floor, strategically placing those bombs so that the towers could fall the way they did. Mm-hmm. They couldn't have known about it ahead of time. Plus, if they did, where were they going to get the C4 or whatever it is to make sure that happens? Like, how were they going to get all of that in time?
When this happened, they could have had a demolition crew called up and said, hey, we need this now. You know, plus, take a look at building number 7. That building, you know, obviously caught fire from falling debris. Alright? How did that building burn from, I think it was 10 a.m. all the way to like 5:30 p.m. without falling the same way that the other 2 towers did? And then why did it fall? Like it was part of a controlled demolition as well. Right?
Yeah.
Plus, why would Larry Silverstein, the owner of those buildings, take out a $1 billion insurance policy on the buildings like 2 days prior?
So you're saying that this was all a ploy on his part, that it was planned? Possibly. You know, maybe it wasn't the government. Maybe it was Larry Silverstein. Maybe it was somebody else who planned this whole thing out. And all he had to do was find 4 pilots with the death wish. Because if you think about it, there's a pilot and there's a co-pilot. So there were 2 planes.
I think they said there were 3 terrorists on every plane. And then, of course, we don't hear a whole lot about the plane that hit the Pentagon.
6, actually. So you had to find 6 pilots with a death wish.
9.
9?
4 planes. Well, no.
That's
4 planes, 3 terrorists on each. That's 12.
Yeah, but you also got to think about the pilots too. So the pilots probably have to be in cahoots with it as well.
The original pilots?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. No, here's on every plane you have the pilot, co-pilot, navigator, the 3 people who are running the plane. You know, if you take them out of the equation, you have the terrorists, 3 terrorists every plane.
Okay.
That's 12 people. So you could take the Larry Silverstein theory out of it. There's no way he's going to contract all of these terrorists to do this for him. No way. But he knew something was going down. And then look at the whole Wall Street thing. All the insider trading that was going on the day before. United and American Airlines, the 2 airlines who had planes hijacked, were getting their stocks sold left and right all day that Monday. Their stock plummeted the day before. Why?
Because people weren't buying.
Plus, why is it 2 days after, when we still had our flight restriction, why were all Saudi-born Americans who did not have full citizenship here flown back to Saudi Arabia?
Because they fucked up somewhere and got caught.
No.
You never know.
They were safe flighted back. They weren't given any criminal charges.
I didn't say they had criminal charges. I just said they probably fucked up somewhere and had to go back.
What about Bush's lying about the events of that day? We all saw on TV where one of his advisors came into the classroom where he was reading a book and told him in his ear what had happened. Then why is it just a few days later he says that he was standing in the hallway and they had TV on and he watched the first plane hit? Was
there footage of him in that classroom reading when the first plane hit?
No. It wasn't until after the second plane hit that it really. Well, the first plane hit, and they cut to the news within a few minutes. But he was reading when that happened. He was reading to some kindergarten
When
students.
the first plane hit?
When both planes hit. It was when the second plane hit that he was told. So he claims that he was watching the first one on TV. The first plane hitting was not televised.
What part of this am I not comprehending? Because for some reason I'm not comprehending.
The first plane hitting was not televised.
Yes.
There
I
is
understand that.
one video that even exists of the first plane hitting. And it's a bad angle, bad quality. They were filming some sort of documentary about it was firefighters or something. Can't remember what it was, but it's the only video that existed of the first plane hitting. And
because they wanted to make Bush look good. That's why. Because he had just taken office too at the time. Well, not just, but he was new to being in the office.
Here's a video footage of the first plane hitting. Get sounds.
And then we heard a plane come over, and in Manhattan, you don't hear planes too often, especially loud ones.
Why did that go over there? No, I mean just like.
Why it panned over? Because they heard the plane, and like you said, it's rare to hear a plane in Manhattan. Manhattan is a safe no-fly zone because of the amount of towers that they have there. It's unsafe. So Manhattan, you're not allowed to fly a plane in there unless you get strict military permission first.
Kind of like with in DC, you can't fly over. Oh, I don't remember, Capitol Building, I think it is. Like you can't fly any higher than that. It's the Capitol Building. I don't remember what building it is, but you can't fly any higher than that. I don't remember what it was.
They're very strict on where you can fly in DC as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to cut to some music right now, then we'll be back with some more conspiracies. Here is Breaking Benjamin with I Will Not Bow. Jersey Shore was canceled. Is anybody actually upset over that? You know, I find it hard to believe that anybody actually likes that show because all I'm seeing on Facebook and Twitter is everyone saying, oh, thank God Jersey Shore was canceled.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that shit got canceled.
I've never seen an episode.
You know, I think it's kind of funny.
I tried watching a little bit of it. I couldn't do it.
MTV actually stated that the reason they canceled the show was because they're going to be putting more intelligent programming back on the air.
Like what? Like what is what I want to know.
As far as MTV goes, what's more intelligent programming than what they have right now? 80s music videos?
MTV News?
That's about it.
Do they still have MTV News?
I don't think so.
See, they can bring that shit back if they want to be intelligent.
Or Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, that was real intelligent.
More intelligent than Jersey Shore.
That's true.
Well,
more intelligent than Jersey Shore.
Intelligence if you watched it. That'd be somewhat intelligent to watch it. I mean, you watched it.
What is that look?
It's Beavis and Butthead's funny.
It is funny.
It is.
Jersey Shore is not entertaining whatsoever.
Yeah, it is. It's entertaining in the fact
it's
that
softcore gay porn. That's all it is. It's softcore gay porn.
It's entertaining in the fact that you can laugh at them.
You know what? I caught like
how dumb they are.
I caught like maybe 30 seconds of it one time. I was flipping through channels and I stopped on MTV, and it was a bunch of dudes in their underwear having a pillow fight.
Fist pumping.
How is that?
Has been going on for years.
But how is dudes having a pillow fight in their underwear entertaining?
Might be entertaining for some people.
Gay people?
Gay people or straight women that prefer to watch that. I don't know, but...
Do you prefer to watch that?
No, not really. Not so much. Yeah, no, not with them, no.
Snooki had a baby. Oh, that should be illegal.
Didn't she stop tanning while she was pregnant?
I sure hope so.
Oh,
Yeah, she there was this big thing about how she stopped tanning for the baby.
Sure hope so.
I mean, like, people were giving her shit because she was still drinking heavily the first couple weeks she was pregnant.
There's also the fact that she may have now. Yeah.
I choose not to watch it.
Guidos and Guidas. Oh, come on now. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Hey, yeah, I actually prefer to be called a dago. But only in the sense that if you're kidding about it. If you were being serious,
Oh, here we go with the racial slurs.
If you were like being serious about it, I would beat somebody's ass.
I'm
But
not Italian at all. Not at all. You can tell I'm not Italian.
Oh, whatever. I have aunts who are Italian and pale. So
Julie. She's like full Italian, and she's blonde hair, blue eyed, and paler than me.
well, Rebecca could be from like the mountainous area and from like Austria. Shit,
I'm baffled by this conversation we're having.
no, like you can be Italian, full blown Italian, and have blonde hair, blue eyes, and like pale.
That's Julie.
It is possible.
And her sister looks nothing like her, except in the face. They have similar faces, but that's it. She's tall and tan and brown hair. And
Oh, it's just like my sister. But you know,
what?
tall,
Why
brown
are you
hair,
laughing at us?
brown hair, brown eyes.
I really don't know.
Just me. I can get a nice tan. Yes, tan during the summer, but look at that. Just saying.
Interesting.
Sorry.
And you're just see now I'm being
Oh man.
now I
Being
am.
quiet.
Yeah, and you were just saying how you weren't used to me.
I'm trying to take this all in. That's what I'm doing over here.
What else? Well, I got.
I do have something I have to plug here though.
Oh shit! What do you got to plug?
I'm gonna get on that. The Mr. Youngstown All-Star pageant, for those who are interested in that sort of thing. It's a new project that I kind of got handed over on Friday. It's a part of the gay pageantry. It's interesting for those of you who've never witnessed something like this. Definitely very interesting. And I'm throwing the whole thing together.
And how I got roped in.
How did you get roped in?
Because you told me that I had to come and help decorate Utopia for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how I got roped in.
So it's gonna be September 23rd. It's a Sunday. It starts at 11 o'clock.
Which means 12 o'clock in Utopia time.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. The pageants they have to start at 11.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because there's just so much going on, they have to start at 11. This is a prelim for a state competition. The state, I'm not exactly sure of the exact date, but I know it's sometime in October.
All I gotta say is, queens and kings, suit up.
This is just strictly for men, like people born as men.
What did I just say? Suit up.
Oh yeah. I'm suiting up that night.
I'm sure you are. Who knows?
And, I think we're actually going to be doing the show from Utopia that night. Yeah. Yep, it should be fun.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
I urge everybody to come out and check it out. It's Sunday, September 23rd, 11 p.m. at Utopia in Youngstown.
Please come check it out. Support your favorite.
I created an event on Facebook for it. It's
You haven't got the invite already for it.
Yeah, it's just search for Mr. Youngstown All-Star. It's a public event. Everybody is welcome to show up.
Tell your friends, tell your family.
Family outing.
Yes, it's a family outing.
Yeah, the whole thing's being put together by Chaos Culture Productions.
Yes, which means we are putting it on.
Yep. That's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we are almost out of time. What does that mean for you?
For me?
Yes.
I don't know. Just aw. Just aw. Well, what does that mean for you?
What?
Do not pay attention to what she says.
I rarely ever pay attention to anything she says.
Such a dick.
I know.
Which can't explain why he's always asking me what you guys talking about. What are you taking pictures of? Apparently.
I'm always doing like 1,000 things at once.
Yeah, being too busy on Facebook to.
I'm promoting right now, okay?
Really?
Yeah, I am.
Really?
Yeah, I'm always promoting.
Okay.
Oh, when I was talking with my friends, I told her to listen to the show. I sounded like a commercial.
Hey. Hey, Alyssa, is your special friend listening today?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Possibly. He could be. He could be. My special friend.
Yep.
Why, is your special friend listening?
I don't have any special friends.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends are here right now. I don't care about anybody else.
All the important people are here. Right, pretty much, as you're not paying.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, he is not listening.
Aww. Well, I knew he was doing something tonight.
Oh, my hair looks gross.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying attention.
So our Best of Planet Chaos episode is up online right now.
You should listen to it.
I urge everybody to go check it out. It's some of our best material. It's a lot more interesting than some of the shit that we've been talking about today.
Yeah.
Today's been kind of a laid back sort of episode. And it's more fun when Ron's here. He gets all pumped up on issues. We're gonna get Ron on here again real soon though.
It's more fun when Country's here, but you know, truck was working.
He's been MIA for a minute now. I don't know how that's going.
Well, he was saying how his well, he told me his truck broke down, so
Yeah, his truck broke down and he has no transportation right now. I don't know. I don't pay attention to him when he talks.
he makes some very entertaining.
Do you pay attention to anyone when they talk?
What?
No.
No.
No. That's a fuck no right there.
It was.
Wow.
And your phone hasn't gone off today. I'm surprised.
Yeah, well, should happen.
It's on off, but it's on silent. It's on vibrant.
About time.
My phone's been off. Your phone's been going off too.
Actually, no, my phone hasn't gone. Oh yeah, it has. I just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Wait, I got some shit going on my phone. Wait.
What now? What now?
Somebody liked one of my pictures on Instagram. That's about it.
Oh. My phone's been on vibrate. I had one minor mishap on one episode where my phone hasn't been on silent. And I got shit for it.
You got called out.
Hey, that's on the best of episode.
It is. Yeah, it's on the best stuff.
From what I hear, your phone went off too.
When?
Wasn't there an episode on one of your Friday episodes where your phone went off and you didn't have it on silent? Didn't go off.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no evidence of that.
Did you do
Friday show's been canceled.
Whoa! What did I just do?
The Friday show's been canceled. We
What's
have
it
no
doing?
evidence that it happened.
I think I broke your camera.
Wait, the first Friday episode that we did, though, Country's Woman was here for it.
Really?
Yes, she was. She was here for it.
Really?
Which wasn't awkward at all.
Huh.
For you, probably.
Considering I used to bang her, no, it wasn't awkward. The slightest bit. No.
What haven't you done?
We are not going to talk about
That's
that.
what I want to know.
We are going to wrap up the show right
That's
now.
what I want to know.
We are going to wrap up the show. Don't forget about Macabre Madness in October. 4 Sundays, 4 great episodes.
It's pretty good.
And we are going to make some big announcements about the 2013 Macabre Fest.
Okay.
It's all going to be part of my October spectacular. And then, November 6th, make sure you listen. It's going to be 5 hours. 5 hours. We're going to be on the air. And we actually might go a little bit longer than that if we get enough listeners that night. It is election day. We are going to be talking politics all night long. We're going to have some great guests. Got some great guests lined up. They're going to be in here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a special Tuesday episode. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be a formal event, too.
Oh, does that mean I have to, like, dress up for it?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. I don't have nice
Alright, so it is time to wrap up the show. We're going to play you out with a couple songs. We're going to do some Mushroomhead and then some Mudvayne and call it a night. Here's Mushroomhead with Simple Survival.
Hey, so you know how I've always had a thing for half Asian girls? Well, now I've got a new favorite. Lebanese girls. Lebanese girls are the new half Asians. Hey, you want to do something tonight? Okay, meet me at the bar in 15 minutes and suit up! Penguin suited up. Suit up! You suited up! Birthday suiting up. Slut up! Suit up! Suit up! Suited up! Suit up! Suit up! Space suit up! Law suit up! No, not again. Not this year. You're going as my wingman. Flight suit up.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there.
Well, obviously we have a rapist in Lincoln Park.
He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up. Trying to rape them, so you need to hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, and hide your wife, and hide your husband, 'cause they ain't raping anybody out there.
It's time to say goodbye, goodbye. It's sad, but time's the reason why we must bid farewell for a day or two. So till you come back again, think of us now and then. Think of us a little bit, 'cause we'll be thinking of you. It has gone so very fast, but as they say, what's past is past, and we are looking forward to next week's anew. Though you are out of sight, we'll find you are not out of mind. Think of us a little bit, 'cause we'll be thinking of you. We hate saying goodbye. Hardly an eye is dry. We'd like to put it off till
So till we meet again, be good, do all you can that's right, and we'll be back to see you same time on Monday night. Good night.
We'll be thinking of you, dear children. Trust me.
This concludes our radio broadcast for this evening. From all of us at Planet Chaos to all of you out there, have a good night.